Wonderful people, viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back. This is BVI Channel 1 and we are on Matters Arising. Yes, we are shifting away from politics. Let us go into the business of governance. The business of governance is to protect lives and properties. That is the primary responsibility of every government. And narrowing it down to Anambra State and what Charles Soludo is about to introduce, calling it an enforcement on ban on open grazing. Now, let us quickly have a recap of what we are looking at tonight, and when I come right back, we will take it on. Don't forget, this is Matters Arising live broadcast. I'll be right back.
Given the threat to our environment, Anambra is unique. We need all the grasses, we need all the trees, all the shrubs. We need to plant 1 million more every year. But we cannot run the risk of planting them and having them being eaten up by marauding animals.
This law, we say, let we stop business, and we didn't have any program, we didn't have any land. So what do we do with this cow now?
For the last 8 months, we have been breaking the law. So it's not as if it was passed, we just passed it this morning, and we are calling you now to say enforcement will be beginning this evening. It's going to pass for at least 8 months. Where that process, that way that you are using to move it, has since become illegal.
It is not clear who actually should enforce this ban on open grazing. It is not clear. This bill did not state clearly. Is it the state's vigilante service? This ban on open grazing should be local content. It should be based on Anambra State law. It should not get the federal government in any way or the other trying to pacify the federal government on this matter when we know clearly that the federal government is not committed to banning open grazing.
You're welcome back. This is still BVI Channel 1 Matters Arising. I'm Asutile Peters, your host. Don't forget, this live broadcast is an opportunity for you to air your opinion with respect to the discussion we are bringing to you. Because BVI Channel 1 is the voice of the people. Let your voice be heard. Through the comment section, you can drop your comments or you call the numbers on the screen, +2348104545533. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and above all, on our YouTube channels, BVI Channel 1 and BVI Channel 1 Plus. It is extremely important you follow us, subscribe on these channels so that you don't miss a thing. I will always also want to inform you that after our channel was terminated, we had to set up an alternative channel, BVI Channel 1 Plus. So in case you miss anything within the 3 weeks that our YouTube channel was completely taken down, please go to that channel, BVI Channel 1 Plus, to be properly updated on what you've missed so far. And don't forget to subscribe. Now let us hit the ground running on what we are deliberating tonight and what we are reviewing on this live broadcast, talking about enforcement on ban on open grazing. Recently, the governor of Anambra State announced to enforce ban on open grazing. I've already made a statement addressing the state government and reminding them my position and the position of GGM and that of Alibo Development Foundation with respect to ban on open grazing. All right? Now, if you have missed that video, I just published it this evening. After this live broadcast, don't miss it. Just ensure you watch that video during the public hearing before that bill was passed, I stated categorically the things you will be hearing from the video you will be watching next. So after that, we are going to be reviewing the ban on open grazing in the southeast particularly and Nigeria at large. Then who will actually enforce this ban on open grazing? After watching the video, you will get some ideas on our position regarding that. Then must Soludo, that is the one that is even bothering everyone, must Soludo have a meeting with the Meiti Alars, the Fulani herders, before, enforcing this ban on open grazing? All of that is what we are going to talk about tonight. Now let us quickly go back on the video, the meeting between Soludo and the herders, the Meiti Allah, and also you will hear the submission that I tabled personally during the public hearing last year, and the position of BVI Channel 1 and that of GGM. After that, we will now come right back to deliberate on this very, very critically. So don't touch the dial, don't go away, sit back and get every detail of what we are bringing to you tonight. So let us hit on it. I'll be right back.
Anambra State has over 900 active erosion sites ravaging many communities, a situation the Soludo administration considers an emergency which it intends to tackle by planting trees and shrubs. However, a major threat to these initiatives is the unchecked activities of herders, despite the passage of the anti-open grazing law by the State Assembly in October last year. Ahead of these erosion control measures, Governor Soludo meets members of the Anambra Cattle Menace Control Committee to discuss the matter.
Given the threat to our environment, Anambra is unique. We need all the grasses, we need all the trees, and all the shrubs. We need to plant 1 million more every year. But we cannot run the risk of planting them and having them being eaten up by marauding cattle.
The governor gives room for inputs from all stakeholders in order to secure a common understanding on how to check erosion and still sustain social harmony where cattle herders can still do business.
My position is that if this committee is allowed to sit, we take a copy of that law, look at it, and then of course we sit with the Senate and people, the members of the committee. Then whatever comes out of it will determine what they will do, whether they will come back to Mr. Babano to say, we have looked at the law. This law grants us this kind of window or what to grant us, and they come up with a proposal which can be considered by the state government.
Leader of the Meiti Allah in Orca North, however, expresses some reservations with the planned implementation of the anti-open grazing law.
This law, you say today, let we stop business, and we didn't have any program. We didn't have any land. So what do we do with this cow now?
In spite of the unease, the governor reaffirms his position on the moratorium, reminding the pastoralists that the anti-open grazing law had been passed since October 2021.
So it's not as if it was passed, we just passed it this morning, and we're calling you now to say enforcement will begin this evening. It's been passed for at least 8 months. Where that process, that way that you are using to move it, has since become illegal. So, if it was passed in December, for the last 8 months, you have been breaking the law.
Governor Soludo also urges the Secretary to the State Government to liaise with the Anambra State Commissioner of Police to circulate copies of the anti-open grazing law to all concerned.
My name is Soludo Peters. I represent Anambra Development Foundation, ADF, led by Rusttlers, Professor, and also the convener, Good Governance Minister. Let me just quickly highlight on the issues we have pointed out. First, I would like to say I'm the most happiest person being here to witness this public hearing, because for so many years now we have been advocating for this ban on open grazing. I'm talking about the composition, clause 30, composition of the livestock special task force. Mr. Speaker, including the Commissioner of Police, the DSS, the Nigerian Civil Defense, and Nigerian Legion, all of that, we know that they are institutions of the federal government. And we know the position of the federal government on ban on open grazing. Just like my father here said, it is not a coincidence that the Commissioner of Police did not represent himself here. So, if you go to the next one, which is clause 33. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I have to highlight all of them. If you go to clause 33, that's we. I'm coming. I know. Because this will support the amendment I would like to. Okay. Now, going to clause 33, we have power of arrest and detention. I think this is checking. Power of arrest and detention. That is going to the enforcement by the task force. I've talked about the composition of the task force, and now the power of arrest and detention, which is to enforce it, which I know is where the problem will lie, and it is very contradictory to say that the task force is empowered with or without the assistance of security agencies. And from the composition of the membership of this task force, we have the security agencies as part of the task force. So it is not clear who actually should enforce this ban on open grazing. It is not clear. This bill did not state clearly. Is it the state vigilante service? The last we heard from the Southeast Governors Forum, they set up a regional security, but we've not seen a commitment on that angle, talking about the Dubai. So coming to Anambra State, what provision did they make to, empower a particular organization or establishment like local vigilante to enforce this ban on open grazing? Now, finally, in clause 5, subsection X, under the T, it says, in collaboration with the Department of Security Service to keep register and database of ranches and ranchers in the state. Mr. Speaker, with due respect, ranching is a business that brings prosperity to the state. It's already a solution to the menace, the carnage that we are witnessing in some parts of Igbo land today. So it is no longer expected that ranches will be a security threat, and bringing the DSS to have database or profiling those who are into ranching or those who want to invest in ranching. Just like every other business, like bakery and other businesses, you don't bring in DSS and all of that profiling. It will demonize the business of ranching. So I suggest that this ban on open grazing should be local content. It should be based on Anambra State law. It should not get the federal government in any way or the other trying to pacify the federal government on this matter when we know clearly that the federal government is not committed to banning open grazing. Thank you very much.
Oh, my name is Queen Malu. I'm the director of BVI Channel 1.
Can you come closer, please?
My question is concerning this ranching on establishment of ranches, ranching and livestock market.
That's on stage, please.
Okay, yes.
Go on.
Thank you. So, I'm suggesting, because here they said someone who is interested in ranching can lease a land or something, and it felt like there will be so much ranches all over Anambra State. So my suggestion is, why not get establish an agricultural estate where ranching will be part of it, like in the tree senatorial zone. We have ranching in that agricultural estate instead of having ranches everywhere, because the truth is cattle rearing is not the only thing in agriculture, and that is not the only problem we have in agriculture. So I suggest that instead of having ranches everywhere, where a family will give a particular land, then give up a particular land for rent and all that, why not establish an agricultural estate where ranching will be part of that agricultural estate? Thank you.
Thank you for watching and staying tuned. This is still Matters Rising. I'm Asuchidon Peters. What you just watched is the meeting of the governor of Anambra State with the people he called the stakeholders, respect to the cattle managers, whatever they named the committee, and the Meiti Allah. All right? Now, there are some questions that are arising. There are questions people are posing, and as the voice of the people, I've got to present it on this program for both the government and the people to have their say. You heard me when I pointed it out clearly to the Speaker of the House during the public hearing last year, October to be precise, at the government house. I told them categorically speaking that I faulted the enforcement of that ban on open grazing. I faulted that enforcement of ban to open grazing, because according to the bill or to the law that was passed, they say that the police, the DSS, the Nigerian security operatives will be part of the enforcement outfit or enforcement procedure, all right, to the ban on open grazing. And I stated categorically speaking that the federal government should not have anything to do with implementation of the law in Anambra State regarding ban on open grazing. Since the federal government have already made their stand to be known, they are against the ban of open grazing, then how could you expect the security operatives of the federal government to enforce the ban on open grazing, whereas the federal government is against it? Now, the question now boils down on who will enforce this ban on open grazing. Remember my position, and when we started the campaign to ban open grazing in the southeast generally and across Nigeria, Alibo Development Foundation made their stand and sent a drafted bill to all the state governments, and they sent this draft to all the state governments in the southeast and other Igbo-speaking states, asking them to ban open grazing. It is not fashionable. It is a threat to lives. It has destroyed our farmland and making our homeland so unsafe. So as a result of that, there is need for a ban on open, and especially with the security threat it poses across Nigeria, which is also encroaching into the Igbo land as a whole. So the need arose, but the state governments in the southeast were reluctant. They weren't up and running to ban the open grazing, to adopt a civilized, modernized system of rearing cattle through cattle ranching. And ultimately, it became a serious concern that the people of the southeast can no longer go to farm, that the people of the southeast can no longer cultivate what they eat because of the menace of open grazing. And as a result of the reluctantness of the governors of the southeast, non-state actors took it upon themselves to initiate what they call ESN. And today we all know the whole trail of the matter that happened. Subsequently, we heard that the southeast governors have come together to do what they were supposed to do in the first place. And because of the obvious reasons, politics of interest, partisan interest, than that of the interest of our people, overshadowed whatever they set up, and what they called the Bubagu became something else. It became an anathema to progress. It became a nightmare to our people. And now, coming down to Anambra State, who have passed the bill last year, now the government of Soludo is now saying we want to enforce this ban on open grazing. And the question is, who will enforce it? And there is need for Soludo to come forward, or anyone in charge in his government to come forward to inform the Anambralians, those living in Anambra State, the form and shape this enforcement will take, so that the people will be abreast with the information of what is happening around them, so that the unfortunate incident that happened in Oba will not repeat itself across the southeast, particularly in Anambra State. So that is what we are talking about. And I have two gentlemen already seated on the WhatsApp conversation to join me in this very deliberation tonight, as we expect you all who are interested to put up your own submission and drop your comments on the comment section. We are going to take them as we proceed in this section. Let me quickly bring in our brothers and a senior colleague in this, a professional colleague actually, who is going to, inform our people on the plan on ground by eligible people with capacity and knowledge that will help in ensuring that agricultural investment in Anambra State and the Igbo land would be viable and would succeed. Let me quickly bring in Ndubisi and Enugu. You all know him. Hello, Ndubisi. Unmute yourself and say hello to our viewers out there.
Hello, Chinedu. Good evening to you, and good evening to our viewers all over the world.
Thank you, Ndubisi, for joining us tonight on this discussion. And also our big brother, in Italy. Can you please tell us, you can introduce yourself properly and, say hello to our viewers before we now go down into the deliberation.
Good evening, viewers.
All right. Can you please give us a highlight from your professional background with respect to the issue of open grazing? Then you give an overview of what is obtainable where you are and what could be done in Anambra State and also across Igbo land?
In fact, when we hear about all this open grazing or no open grazing, it makes people, how do I put it, it angers people much, because here in Europe, most of the leaders we have in Nigeria must have been in Europe. Open grazing is outdated system of cattle rearing. I don't know why it is very difficult for Nigerians to call a spade a spade. In Europe, agriculture is the base of the pillar of European economy. We made a lot of attempts to come down to teach our people how to go into agriculture. Cattle rearing is the best you can think in this planet, because when you start the cattle ranching, you have a lot of products that come from cattle ranching. You have even a solid vegetation without contamination with a lot of chemicals they are using in Nigeria today. For instance, here, fertilizer is never used anymore since 1979, because fertilizer causes cancer of the blood, cancer of the bone. They ban it here in Italy since 1979. Most of the foods we are eating here in Italy, both animal, vegetable, fruits, are being cultivated with animal waste. That cattle waste, the poultry waste, the goat and sheep waste, to get a biological product that keeps people living very well. Now, for the cattle ranching, I support the ban of the open grazing, because it's not obtainable in this 21st century. People should come out and call a spade a spade. When we start cattle ranching in Anambra State, we have even new brand of species of animal the Europeans brought in from Africa that are using to make much money, is worth more than gold and silver now. They call it buffalo ranching. We have buffalo ranching here. We have cattle ranching, our Efibo, old Efibo, black and white. We want to come down to teach our young ones the technicalities to do this agriculture. There we can go into tree plantation. I heard our able governor talking of planting trees. We have a viable trees that we can plant that can control erosions. But we need the Anambra State government to assist the younger ones with that job to start cattle and the buffalo ranching in Anambra State. They must ban completely open grazing. It's not obtainable in this century anymore. So whichever way they want to do it, to enforce the law, let them start it now, not tomorrow. And I want to talk to our younger ones in Anambra State. The government of Anambra State should assist the younger ones to start going back to land. We have a sustainable rural development program which can equally give you electricity that the federal government doesn't provide. From animal waste, you can produce your electricity. Even you can sell to the government of the Anambra State or whoever that wants to buy from the national grid. This is the techniques and the program we have mapped out for Anambra State. So we are ready to come down to teach younger ones, we can equally establish our team with the universities of agriculture to give them the system in breeding animals. We can equally create genetic selection department of the cattle, genetic department selection of the goat, genetic selection department of the sheep, even the chicken, the rabbits, the plants, and all whatnot. These are the experience we acquired here, and thank God for my professor whom I've been beckoning since years ago to help us, because the European government never want us to have this system of breeding cattle and the animals, system of stopping using chemicals to cultivate our food. We have to work hard to start these activities in Anambra State. The Anambra State government should come and help us. And we know in the federal government, the central bank have a lot of money for agricultural establishment. What are they waiting for? We have the technicalities. We have super experts in all this field. We can produce our own dairy. We can make our own milk. We can make our own cheese. We can make our own ham and burgers. We can create more activities from one agriculture animal ranch to another. So I would like Chinedu and Vincent and Enugu to see what they can do to present this project to the Anambra State Governor. We are ready to come now and train our jobless young ones. There's a lot to do from animal and cattle ranching.
All right, thank you very much for that exhibition, for that thought to bring down this very modernized, mechanized agricultural establishment in the Southeast and Anambra State, and also some of the things you mentioned, talking about, because the governor was actually, addressing the issue of erosion menace.
Yes.
In the issue of erosion menace, talking about the effect of open grazing that is causing erosion in Anambra State. I remembered in many years past, Zamfara actually studied and came out with a law to stop or discourage open grazing as a factor that is encouraging desert encroachment. All right. So, but in Anambra State, yeah, and particularly in the Southeast, most communities, the kind of soil we have here, once we don't have the trees in place and proper planning and management, that's how and why we are faced with various active erosion sites. But outside erosion control, we talk about the safety of lives and also the farmlands that have been destroyed, yes, by the marauders, the starvation it is causing, and the unrest it is breeding, because a hungry man is an angry man, and a man, yes, that cannot cultivate what he eats must agitate in any way. And if government is genuinely interested in sorting out this problem, it starts with enforcing the ban on open grazing. Just recently in Umuleri, there was an ugly incident that happened there where a young man was cut down by these marauders, and the guy want to buy cow. Whatsoever thing that happened there, one of the guys got killed, and the other one got away with serious injuries. And we asked ourselves, why would we allow this open grazing to continue in our homeland, posing serious threat to lives and properties? And also, bringing about hunger and starvation in our homeland. And now we talk about enforcement, because it's not just about making the laws. The laws have been made. We were there during the public hearing. Let me get Ndubisi's opinion before I go further in this. Ndubisi, you remembered how and what we did during the presentation at the public hearing. You were there, right? Unmute yourself. Ndubisi, unmute yourself. I guess he's not hearing me.
Hello, Chinedu.
Go on.
Yes, I was there. I was there with you and with some other people. You spoke to the authority without fear. I could remember the ESS representatives were there, and the other security guys, apart from police. Police force was not represented. You spoke to Anambra State House of Assembly, stating exactly what you are saying now as per your peers, that federal institutions should not be part of the enforcement, because as at now, General Muhammad Buhari is still the president of Nigeria, and we all know that he is still the patron of Miet Allah. So yes, so we know his position. So nobody should expect miracle from that bill unless something serious is done to alter it and to enforce it. But however, Chinedu, as at this stage, I want to acknowledge Professor Soludo, the person of Professor Soludo. He is a man of courage. He is a visionary governor. He is somebody who loves, who is progressive minded, is developmental minded. He thinks about the interests of the masses. So I do not think that he will mention or even mouth the fact that open grazing will stop effective this September without him putting measures in place to implement it. Maybe let's give him this month. Let's see how it goes. I believe he meant business. But from this cattle rearers begging him to still give him, I don't think that's serious minded. I think all over the world, open grazing is no longer conventional. It's with cattle on open grazing basis. So Soludo is a global person, He will not allow that to happen in Anambra State. But I know there are so many ways of killing a rat. Those guys who are into cattle business should go back to their government and their owners. Like the statement you signed today, I read, you say the owners of cattle or cows in Nigeria are billionaires. Cattle business is just like any other business. Like if somebody selling spare parts, it's just like somebody phone inside the market. You pay for your shop, you pay for sanitation, you pay for everything for you to do your business.
Exactly.
So cattle business should not be treated in isolation. Cattle business should be treated as a business. If you have a business, you should make adequate provisions for the business. So I know that the owners of this cattle, whether in Igbo land, because you know some of our people here, businessmen, they own this cattle and give it to the Fulani herdsmen. I know the owners are in business and they have a lot of money to develop their ranch. And the government has given them enough time. Like Soludo said, 8 months. It means now they are breaking the law. 8 months since this law comes into effective. So they ought to have done something if they are not taking this government or bill for granted, or if they are not laughing that this bill cannot be implemented because they have a grand patron in Abuja. I know that northern governors have already started making plans on how to build ranches. Yesterday, I saw a Rufai somewhere, I think Brazil.
Norway. I think in Norway.
Or in Norway.
Yeah.
So I saw a Rufai in Norway. He's negotiating for modern ranching facility. And he has already donated land, giving land in Kaduna to herdsmen. And this business runs into, government is committing excess of 9 billion naira. You can imagine. Kano government is doing the same thing. Borno government is doing the same thing. So, I mean, right from before the Civil War, MI Opera then built modern cattle ranch in Calabar. Oh, that's where we have Obudu cattle ranch. Yeah. So why are we discussing, why is this issue making headline? I know Professor Charles Soludo Chalingwambafo is not, will not take kindly with this kind of situation. So Chinedu, what I'm saying is that let's not say what will happen, but let's watch him. He is the person that said it, and he's the person that has given deadline, and deadline is 31st day of August. So this time, which is September, the implementation time, I think we should start monitoring him and start assessing his enforcement, irrespective of whether DSS or police or army will be part of it. He is in charge, and he's the chief security officer of the state.
Now that you
should not give any excuse for him. Thank you.
Now that you've talked about this, yes, he's the chief security officer. He knows the best to do. Now, do you think he's going to move away from the arrangement of the South, set up one security outfit that has turned out to become an anathema, a serious nightmare on our people? Talking about the Ebubagos. Just recently, we had a drama, an ugly drama that happened at Oba, of which it later turned out that what the people called the Ebubago happened to be Anambra State Vigilante Service, which had been in place for a very long time, not even in the time of Soludo. Okay, now the issue of communication, that is where I'm making my stand and case, that Soludo must come forward to inform the Anambra State of what is on ground. There should be proper communication on this enforcement on ban on open grazing. Will he adopt the Ebubagos? Of course, I will say completely no, because we don't know who they are. We already have Anambra Vigilante Service. Since the southeastern governments, the governors could not come together to do something that is viable, that is completely out of partisan politics, to establish a regional security. Now, we are left with the state arrangement of having Anambra Vigilante Service, which trickles down to every community. Every community has their vigilante service. Are you looking at it from the perspective? Yes, I can vouch. Let me not use that word. Although you cannot vouch for anyone, especially those in government, but to a large extent, with the personality of the man Soludo, whom I have serious respect for, I can say the man will do the right thing and not go the wrong way we have experienced from different states. You know, they don't tackle the menace on ban on open grazing or effectively enforce the law on ban on open grazing. Now that he's coming up to say, I'm going to ban open grazing and enforce it. We are now looking at the security network, because everybody must be involved. If you are in a community, you witness or you see a kind of open grazing happening, you and I know that since the ban on open grazing, as they passed it into law, there are so many places we've seen people carry cattle about up and down. So people who should know who to call, who to report to the incident on cattle invading their farmland, ransacking their villages and the rest of them. So that is why it is important for Anambra state government to, you know, to come forward to be more open to the Indian Anambra state. What do you think of it, Ndubisi? Then I'll bring in our brother so that we now talk about what we have established in the past. We've talked about our plan to establish an agricultural estate. An agricultural estate. We are going to talk about it briefly, and what our partner in Italy and those in diaspora will be getting set to be part of, which we suspended obviously because of the level of insecurity that we start experiencing in Anambra state particularly, and at large in Southeast. So NBC, give us your thought on that very quickly, then we bring in our brother from Italy.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. On regional security, Ebubago, there is nothing like Ebubago in Anambra state. It's people who want to create confusion, people who are benefiting from confusion, people who are benefiting from fake news, people who are benefiting from blackmail, all sorts of propaganda that are peddling that brand called Ebubago. Ebubago is non-existent in Anambra state. It is only in Ebonyi state that Ebonyi state governor officially, launched that security outfit called Ebubago. And if you can still remember, Chinedu, Governor Dave Omahe was, or rather, he's still the chairman of Governors Forum, Southeast Governors Forum. So the embargo of it started from Ebonyi State. And again, you should note that in Southeast, there is no cohesion. There is no political understanding among the 5 eastern zones. Every one of them is pursuing their own personal agenda in line with their political party. Ebonyi State Governor is in APC, Imo State Governor is in APC, Enugu and the Abia State, PDP, Anambra, Abba. So, as far as I'm concerned, regional security outfit for now cannot work unless after 2023. By 2023, I believe the governor of Anambra State will emerge.
Okay.
The new leader of Governor Forum, because he will be the embargo on what Anambra State coming out to communicate on how they will enforce and law. For one thing, we have to accept and acknowledge, it's all of us that elected Soludo to be the governor. I personally voted for him. I campaigned and encouraged people to vote for him. To me, he was the best person to be in that seat as governor of Anambra State. So now, he is our governor. So ours is to guide him where he is making mistakes. We'll guide him. If he cannot take our advice inside, we'll come public. Because I'm not working for him. I'm not speaking for Anambra State government. But having said that, the information management of Anambra state government is poor. That is why you have a situation of what happened in Anambra. Governments ought to, it is not Soludo per se, the governor that will do that. He has information managers that will always communicate with the state actors and non-state actors, including even some of us. Some of us, they don't regard as anything that is talking on social media. When they see maybe my man, they will say this guy are too troublemaker. They will ignore it, you know. So the people managing information should reach out to everybody, including people who are not important. You don't dismiss anybody. Everybody is important. Everybody, stakeholders, you reach out to everybody. But I don't see that happening from them. It has to do with the officers there. You could still you notice what happened during the time that committee, that peace and reconciliation committee was set up. How many people were reached out? How many agitators were reached out? And meanwhile, that committee has ended their work. They will just sit in the office and be waiting for people to come. So, I blame the information managers. Professor Soludo cannot be everywhere, even though the box, the final thing ends at his table. If he does the right thing, credit will go to him. If he does the wrong thing, people will castigate him. So it's for him to pick the right set of people who has character and who has the ability and technical know-how on how to handle certain situations. Because this issue of security is a sensitive situation. It's not for all comers. And the open grazing, again, is very sensitive. It requires some technicalities and some level of diplomacy. At the end of the day, what is important is that farmers should have sense of protection, that all these herdsmen are not about their plants or crops. That is what the end result is important. However, it does it, nobody wants to know. But what we want to know and what we want to confirm is that herdsmen are going across the cattle. So I think for now, I try to answer a question and my time about the issue you have raised.
Yes, exactly. You've done justice to that. Now over to the brother Uzebu, who is right there with us. You talked about control of erosion. You talked about control of erosion, reacting to what Soludo said concerning the erosion manage, and he said there are plans that could be brought in that will help to control the erosion. Can you give us highlight on what you are talking about regarding the erosion control?
Yes, in fact, Arab nations where you have this desert encroachment, we participated in trees that give them a green vegetation for cultivation of vegetables and fruits in that zone. If we can do this in that zone, for instance, in Libya, we worked in Libya before now we are in Mali, doing the same job in Mali. Why can't we come down to Anambra State and help our state government to go into this modern technology to save our vegetation? So these are the problems. We are not feeling fine staying here, seeing people suffering, seeing road breaking here and there. I saw the other one recently. I can't remember the town. there is a solution to all this. But the problem is this: is the government ready to employ the experts in a certain sector of development to come down and give them a proposal to start tackling this issue? It's a natural phenomenon that we human beings will cope and put a stop to it. It happens in Europe many years ago, but today everywhere here in Europe is perfectly protected. Why can't the governor ask some experts to come down and help to do this good job to give our people lease of life in that beautiful area of the world? These are the questions we've been asking. For the erosion control, it's not a big. If pay for the plants and the plantations and train younger ones to the forest and the bushes. This is how it's done here. Then we can equally give them the technology to do this. Then sometimes you remember I had people talking of security here and there, testmen, this and that. We have an equipment that we can mount in all local governments that can monitor the forest and anywhere at all. The government have the money to do that, but we know the problem of the federal government and that security sector. But if local governments can monitor their own local government here in Italy or in Europe, why can't the state government in Nigeria establish their own security monitoring group on their own, choosing the company they can use to monitor their states without the federal government, knowing very well the whole security control and everything is under federal government. But I hope the Professor Soludo can equally do something on this sector. We can equally make a very valid contribution in curbing the erosion in Anambra State, in planting trees, in training the younger ones to mind these trees and to do security job as supposed to be in Anambra State. We love our state. We want to come down, and I appreciate the decision Professor Soludo has taken on the open grazing. I will beg him to continue with the already vigilantes we have in Anambra State, because waiting for the 3, 4, 5 eastern governors to do this, it won't work. So let him protect Anambra at the maximum level he feels he can give people happiness in that state. We are ready to cooperate with him if he can call us in to start with the erosion control, to start establishing buffalo and a cattle ranch, training our young Anambrarians to go into this sector because it's a viable sector that can educate them. We are ready to collaborate with universities of agriculture in Anambra State to teach them exactly how agriculture is done in Europe. Agriculture is the best economy, you think, in this world. Agriculture is the sustenance of the European economy. Ask any person. Even the people that have less landmark in Europe are producing a lot of agricultural products that they supply the whole world. Why can't we start looking towards that way now? We have young ones that have no job. We can train them in all these sectors of agriculture, not only in a cattle and a buffalo ranching. We can equally start planting economic trees that we use for animal feed. We can start planting grasses that we use for animal feed. We can start extracting oil from some of the trees we are going to plant to control the erosion, like moringa trees. We can extract oil from the seeds and all whatnot, use the leaves to even to feed animals. We can equally make manures from most of the vegetables we are going to cultivate and preserve and package and export most of these products. We are ready to come down. We need the government support to realize this. I appreciate all what Governor is doing. He will go ahead on this banning of open grazing. It's a very good decision, decisive decision, and I'll support him 1,000,000% to go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much for that input there. And we also want you to react on another important issue respect to industrialized agriculture, mechanized agriculture. You are aware of the GGM agricultural estate that we are trying to put together. What is your take on that? And how do you think your team in Italy can be of help in ensuring that that very project sees the light of the day?
Thank you very much, Chinedu. In fact, the mechanized agriculture is being our desire for Africa. You know, as I told you sometimes, it's only in Nigeria we find things difficult for past 5 years. The other African countries we started this our mission, they are doing very, very well now. You know, the problem we have with Nigerian government is they don't even understand it. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion in that country. You know, the mechanized agriculture is the best thing you can do to produce more GDP for your country. There's a lot we can do on mechanized agriculture. Chinedu, the plan we have, which I love to explain to you now, we can equally start, if we are invited to come down, we can equally start producing with exactly the materials we have already got in Nigeria, like cashew nut, like mango, like pan kernel, like palm oil. We can do a lot of things with those equipments while we are working on the ranching of buffalo and the cattle. Then for the mechanized agriculture, we are here. My professor invented a lot of machines that we can use to start doing this job more than conventional ones. Then we intend to import tractors and the implements. We intend to train younger ones, both in Nigeria and abroad, to go into full mechanized agriculture. So we are ready. The equipments, I think we listed some of the equipments to you. There's no problem, we are ready. The problem is the government to ask us, yes, you can come down, let's discuss, let's see what we can do. We are ready to cooperate with the GGM because I know you people are doing a wonderful job. But the fact is that if the government can approve this project, we are ready to come down and teach our younger ones what to do with our land, because we have a very beautiful, fertile land. You need mechanized equipment to utilize all what we have. I'm telling you from the experience we have got, because we are making some research on African roots and the Nigerian roots and all whatnot. You know, our result here, any roots that come from Nigeria or any fruit that come from Nigeria is best of all the fruits and the roots we are using here in Europe. So why can't we come down and develop this a more scientific system? We are ready to do that, Chinedu. Mechanized agriculture, we are bringing all the necessary equipments that requires to start these activities in Anambra State.
Okay, that's very wonderful. That's quite interesting. The challenge most people have in dealing with government in Nigeria, especially in the southeast, which is our own concern, is having the wrong people in government, as commissioners, as those guys that surrounds the governor himself. When you bring and put forward a wonderful proposal on how to add value, it is either it is swept under the carpet or is abducted. I will use that word, abducted. It will be stolen from you and reused by whatever person in authority, instead of allowing the person that thought it out to carry it out. And that is why when some of them want to now copy it and implement it, they fail. And that kills that very issue. NDBC, you can also use this opportunity to inform our viewers the plans we are already putting on ground and why we've suspended but still working towards the agricultural estate, the challenges and what we've done so far, and to bring out our viewers who might be interested in that agricultural estate, because we are not giving up on that.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. The plan is still ongoing. Yeah, the key challenge we have is the security situation in Anambra State. Many investors are scared when you ask them to bring in their money to invest. Some ask you has security situation in the state improved? But we all know that you make higher returns. The higher the risk here, the risk in the business, the higher the returns. But since you are actually able to bring in money to invest, a conviction becomes a problem. The second issue we have is land.
We are losing you, your network. Hello, NDBC, we are losing you. We hope to have you back. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, yeah. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. You're talking about the land.
Yeah, I said because apart from the security situation, the another thing is securing land, large expanse of land, hectares of land to build this estate, agricultural estate, a model we have not seen in this part of the world, and we are committed because we are good governance, cooperative, multi-purpose cooperative society. We want to prove a point. We want to prove to the people that certain people, responsible people and committed people, passionate people who believe in development of their whole land can actually say something and do something, do it. People who have character, people who are contented to see something to the beginning and see it through. That is exactly what we want to prove. So we want to get everything right. We are not interested in money, collecting anybody's money. That is why it's taking this time, because we have to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. We don't want to collect money from People will say, "Hey, we gave you money so time. What have you? What is the return on investment?" There are so many things you have to face before you start. It's always good to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is why we've for over the years we've been talking, making noise about good governance, about getting the right people into the government. And that is why we started 2 years ago to campaign and encourage the right people to stand up. Among them is Professor. The job we did for Soludo.
Yeah.
There are so many people were thinking that he has given us money and he will give us appointment and this, but we all do it for public interest. That the moment you have the right person in government, every other thing will begin to fall in place. And just like my own brother here, Chief Uzebu said, it's not a rocket science to build a modern society. It does not take anything to create millions of jobs. And personally, when I see people saying that there's no money to do this, there's no money to do that, I became worried, because I know ideas can give you millions, billions of naira in short term, not in long run, in short term, in the immediate market. There are some people that will have title commissioner, they will not know what to do with it. There are some people you give commissioner, just that title. He will use that position to attract investors all over the world. And money, the kind of money that will be entering the state, will be unimaginable. But one thing, you need who has character, you need somebody who is contented, you need a visionary person to be there. You need somebody who has public interest at heart, somebody who is not going there to make money or to make business or to advance himself, but somebody who will go in there to create the wealth. It is all about that. And that is what I expected Soludo to do, to pick credible people and give them sensitive positions in government, instead of some of them recycling some of persons, people who have stayed in government for 8 years, people who they don't expect any magic from those people. Those people sit in the comfort of the offices and they speak grammar, the grammar that doesn't even enter down the villages, that the people in the villages don't even know what is government, they don't feel it. Like last time, this Anambra State distributed seedlings. Chinedu, are you there?
Of course, I'm here. We're listening.
Okay. Like last time, Anambra State government distributed seedlings, palm seedlings and coconut seedlings. Very beautiful. For Soludo seed, every year he will be planting 1 million palm seedlings, coconut seedlings in the state. But at the point of implementation, I was disappointed. Even the Commissioner for Agri himself is I'm sorry to say it, but what I saw and what I witnessed wasn't what I expected. At a point like this, you see him distributing all these things here and there to the towns. People that collected that, some people collected they don't even know what to do with it. Once I asked them, were you trained on where to plant this? They say they just told them to go and plant it. I just don't know what they want to achieve. And this is 1 year. After this year, it's remaining 3 years for a 4-year tenure. Beginning first year, you should get it right. And getting it right starts with the people working with you. Once you hire the wrong people, you've started making mistakes and you have nobody to blame. So good people don't look for you, you look for them. Good people are not looking for job. You will be the person that will call them, come and help me do the thing. I could remember Obasanjo. Obasanjo was the person that identified Professor Soludo. He identified Ribado and all those whatnot. He didn't know them. He didn't know them, but he told his friends, "This is the kind of person I want. This is the kind of person I want." And like when Erufai came in, Erufai said, "If he is with you or interviewing you, the only thing that will make him to mark you good is anger in you, fire in your eyes to get things changed. That things are bad and you have to change it." Once you come to the interview panel and he sees you, your eye red and angry over the way things are done in the country, you are hired. So I expected somebody, because the system is messed up in Anambra and the system, you need to think without the box. You need people who, in fact, you don't need gentlemen in government. You need mad people in government to get things done. You need to madness in the system. So that is what I expected from Soludo government, but I'm not seeing that fire. What I'm seeing is just planning, laying foundation, getting government administration going. And you know, Chief Uze, we have to say it here, submitted his proposal to Ministry of Agriculture, Commissioner of Agriculture, on how to create jobs in Anambra State. Yes. And we have people who sub their users do talent hunt. In the talent hunt, people were having high hopes that after this submission, they will be invited, or somebody will send them this message to even acknowledge that government received their proposal. Somebody like Chief Uzebu submitted from Italy through the Commissioner of Agri. But maybe he looked at it and said, "What is this man doing? Maybe this man doesn't have money." He has the knowledge, but he doesn't have money. Government should invite him. That is how it goes. It is ideas. If you have idea, you make money. But my experience with even Obiano government, you submit proposal, somebody there will steal your proposal, remove your name and put your name there. I submitted one when I was in the bank. I submitted two. My idea was stolen. Somebody used it to do another thing, and because it's not an original content from original person.
Yeah,
it's not coming from that idea was implemented, and he didn't achieve the desired result. You know, that is what we are seeing in government. You know, but like I said, I blame the last man standing, the governor. That time I blamed Obiano because I said Obiano wasn't serious. He likes gossip. People, as long as you are singing for him and you are singing him, you are his man. If you are talking, you are straight talking, like the way I'm talking. I know people in government will not like me.
How can they like you? They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like what we do. And we like it that way. I personally like it that way.
The people, even if you, I know Chief Protocol Officer. Okay.
Hello, we lost you. Network is biting.
It is no cost. Hello, are you there?
Go on. I'll be back.
No cost. Because he will see you, this guy that too know. You don't have money now. How would they know you? Here, if you don't have money, even if you have all ideas, it doesn't matter. Nobody takes you serious. So I don't care. We will continue to do because nobody that are not feeding me. I continue to struggle. Our interest is that let the society be okay. We are interested in building a society, not building me. Because you know, in a state or in Nigeria, everybody is looking for contract. Everybody is looking for job. So you dare not criticize government. You dare not talk to them.
If you talk to them, they won't give you contract. If you visit the office, they will say, "Is he not that stubborn guy?" They will make things difficult for you. But who cares? Who cares? If they try to do it, we'll keep on talking. And their tenure is 4 years. Now 4 years they go. Highest 8 years. You go. Another person will come. Who are saying you are talking.
That is true. That is true. And
if we give you a proposal to build our society, because we have ideas on how to create millions of jobs, and even Soludo is talking about 140,000 jobs a year. 40,000 jobs a year is small. That's the kind of system you build, multipliers effects like this. It will. Do you know the number of jobs just a single banking policy POS has created? Everywhere you go, you see POS. Do you know the purchasing power? Do you know the income people are making from that? So there are a lot of things to create jobs and create money for people.
Wealth, yeah.
Yes, a lot of things. But in agric alone, agriculture has crops and the plans that can give people millions of naira. But government has to do something first. Government has to organize the market. Where is the marketing board? Chinedu? During the time of M.I. Opara, before the Civil War, there is what we call marketing board. What is the function of marketing board? Government uses marketing board to stabilize the market prices and encourage farmers to go back to business, to farming.
They will have a chain. They have a chain.
Yes, you have a value chain. Government is always there to moderate. Over the world, like Italy, where this my brother is, can somebody tell me that government doesn't play a role in agriculture? It's a lie. No country can exist without government getting involved in agriculture. Agriculture is not like buying and selling business. It's not like you buy 10 naira, you sell 20 naira.
Of course.
Agriculture, government must get involved. Is either through grant or this one is not the type of the one we have here. If you are looking for a single digit lending, it's just like a scam business, grant business. You just be there begging for 2 years, 3 years. You will not see money. I'm telling you, this part of the place is quite discouraging. And we have educated people in government. What are they doing?
God bless you. God bless you, Vin. God bless you. You said it all.
Let me pause for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vin.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
Chinedu, in fact, I thank my brother Vincent Anenugu for what he said. I had wanted to give you more guideline on how we can go about this project. I thank God, as my brother Anenugu mentioned, the system here. The system here, as I've said several times, which I would love Professor Soludo to take notice. If they really want to help the young ones, the jobless ones to get a job, I would prefer he is going to establish a full agricultural settlement for the younger ones, which I'm promising with my team. We'll come down and start teaching them how we can go about this agriculture. The animal breeding is part of the agricultural program, but you have a lot of things you can derive from animal breeding, tree plantation, fruit plantation, vegetable plantation. Do you know that a family here in Italy, if you want to go into agriculture, you don't spend kobo. They can refer to the Italian government and ask them their system. What do? You go to local government, your local government, tell them you need to go into poultry, you need to go into animal husbandry. They will ask you, how many acres of land do you have? Which zone you come from? They will tell them the zone. They will go to that local government and ask the local government to map out that land for you. You go to the agricultural bank here in Italy, give them the list of all the equipments you need to start the projects on agriculture. Not only in agriculture, but in other sectors, in other industries where you can employ, because the individuals here are the backbone of economy of Europe. They are the backbone of economy of Italy. They are the one paying tax the government is using in Rome to do whatever they want to do. But this comes from family. Then you register all what you need from the bank. The bank will ask you to go to your zonal agricultural consultant to have the equipments. If you need tractors, they will give you the tractors. If you need the processing machine, they will give you the processing machine, depending on the number of processing machine or what you want to do, or packaging equipments you need. They'll give you this. Do you know how you pay back? When you start producing, you lodge all the money you are making to the bank. The bank sends some people to some inspectors to come and monitor whatever you are doing. This is how it's done here. You don't need money to buy land for agriculture. You don't need it. Ask any person. Why should people talking of money to buy land for agriculture in Anambra State? It's very, very absurd to hear all these stories. And most of these people, they have been abroad. In the United States, it's the same thing. In England, it's the same thing. Chinedu, you've been in England, you studied in England. So why these our so-called leaders put people in darkness and continue oppressing people? Nobody will talk. And Enugu knows how many years I've been even the project of slaughterhouse I gave to him to forward to Obiano. When he was telling me, Obiano is in-law, I said, look, my dear brother, you are my junior. I've seen all these things, even starting from our big brother, P2B. So I have been trying all my possible best. You don't need to try to get to Soludo and tell them this is the system. You can equally get information. It's not hidden. You don't need to buy land because you want to go to agriculture. You don't need to get money to buy equipment. Government have to give you guarantee to go to bank and get all this equipment. When you start producing, you start paying. Chinedu. And then this is the system here. I thank you, two of you, for wonderful work you are doing. And I'm believing God, one day we must overcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mazi Uzebu from Italy, and Ndubisi and Enugu that had joined me throughout this section. We are bringing it to an end, but we'll continue our exposition and dropping contents on our platform. And if you are new on this channel, please endeavor to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so that you'll be getting heads up whenever we are live or whenever we drop any content. And also very important, you should also look out for our second channel. It is important, extremely important. Anyone that is part of this platform, that has subscribed on this platform, should go there and subscribe. We're also dropping contents there as our alternative platform to this, because of what we experienced in recently, where our channel was shut down, was terminated, was deleted from YouTube because people want to suppress this truth. Some corrupt political cyber warriors they have hired to shut down this platform by reporting a whole lot of things, but we don't want to give them that chance again. That's why we have BVI channel 1+. It is important you subscribe on that channel so that you don't get cut off anytime anything happens for any eventualities. And the two gentlemen to you, we seriously appreciate you for being part of this program tonight, and we hope we can have you back again. Mazu Zebu, your last words for tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vin.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Go ahead doing the good job. God will see us through very soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Chidelu, thank you for the job you are doing. You've been consistent, and we must continue. There is no going back. You know, this job we are doing is not for us. It's not for us. It's for the incoming generation, for the children I have.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
Most people are asking me, Chief Uzebu, that I should move my family, I should relocate them to Canada or this. Many people have lost hope with this system.
Yes, I told you many years ago. Yes, I told you many years ago.
And yes. I'm even considering that now, that I'm wasting my time here. Because if you keep on doing what you are doing, people will say keep on doing what you are doing. But this system, yeah, it's quite
your line is cracking up in the BC. We're sorry about that.
Quite discouraging. And when you tell some people that here it's like you are standing alone, everybody is here that is good with them. You know, people don't like saying.
You are perfectly correct. You are perfectly correct, my dear brother.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. I think with that we can draw the curtain for tonight's Matters Arising, and we hope that every one of you who have joined us tonight will join us continuously as we continue to bring you important issues that will definitely impact in the lives of our people and make the lives of our people much better. Like I said earlier, don't forget to subscribe on this channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, follow us. And also on Instagram, Twitter, and on our website, you can also be getting news updates, unbiased news updates as it comes through. And most importantly, subscribe on this channel if you have not, and follow us as we continue as a community to impact in the lives of our people. We've talked about the enforcement of ban on open grazing, and we hope that Soludo will take seriously what have been discussed tonight, because we are very sure they are listening and they are watching. So it is important that they take heed from these neutral observation and clear observation as to what should be done for the good of the Anambra state. I'm Aswuchino Peters. I'm signing out, saying stay blessed and stay safe at all times. Bye-bye for now.